happy March to you all. Yes, time for the third instalment of however many cordless vacuums I'm going to get through this year, and it's time to say goodbye to the Tinko A10. And it's actually been really nice to use this machine. There's a few things that I'm not too keen on, but overall I have not failed to be impressed. For a machine that retails for the cost that this does, it's absolutely flipping brilliant. Let me show you the things that I'm not so keen on. You can see a little sneak peek of how the bin fills there. We're going to have a look and see how it's coped and give it a bit of a clean up, and I'll show you what I've decided to use for March. Let's have a look. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner chums. How are you today? Yes, the old Tinko hasn't been too bad actually. I've used it as much as I possibly can. I haven't used the pneumatic too much, although I have still used it because this is a lovely machine. But I tried to put this through its paces pretty well, and it's not been too bad actually. The battery, obviously I only got one battery with this machine. You can get models with two, and you can buy the battery separately. If you keep it off max, it lasts flipping ages really. If you leave it on max, I can do my entire house with little problem at all. And I've actually been charging it off the battery, because problem with this model, and if you don't know any better you won't really have this issue, but obviously you have to plug it in through the hole when it's in its dock, and I'm then used to just taking the machine off the dock, and of course when it's plugged in, ooh, you do end up, you know, putting the cable before you realise. So I've been charging it up in the top bit with the cable in there. So that's probably me. If you don't know any different, you'll be okay. This slight issue that I have noticed though is that look at the way it's filling. In fact, it's not too bad now because I've just tipped it around, but all of the dirt seems to build up at the front. And I mean, if you do that then you can see it's trying. If you pick up too much dense fluff, it all sits on the top of the shroud. I've had the shroud clog up, I've had it sit around there. It doesn't seem to like going into the bin, which is a little bit of a shame, but equally, you know, empty it regularly, it's not too much of a problem. We'll empty it here, give it a clean up in a second, and obviously you try and tip it out, and because all the dirt is sat on the side, oh, you're going to notice some pine noodles here. It is, again, I'm filming this on like the day before it goes out. I had a Dyson V10 in and it was full of pine noodles, and this ended up cleaning the floor because I thought I'd make a point that this actually, and again comparing it to a V10, grooms so much better than the rubbish head that they came with. But yeah, picks up, you know, big dirt, chunky dirt. Look, it took a casing from a cake that I found behind the sofa. No problem at all. Very nice indeed. The bin, it will need a wipe down and a clean up, but you know, it tips itself out. And again, I think you could probably get away with washing this as long as you let it dry ever so thoroughly. Because of the electrical connections, it will be fine. The shroud has clogged up a few times. The filter is still it still likes to put the fine dust on the filter, but, and look, if you look up here where the motor is, it doesn't get through. It's really quite astonishing. We also have a post filter here, and it is a little bit grubby. Can't say it's not, but equally I haven't washed it at all. This is, well, I haven't washed it ever really. This is out of the box is what this comes. It will need a wash now, and how I plan to do that is to take out this centre screw, take that off, and I'm going to put it and this through the washing machine, and I'll let you know if that goes good or bad next month, because I've already filmed me videos for March, but I think it'll be fine. I don't see any problem with doing that at all. So it's very easy to maintain when you need to empty it. So you get away with just dumping it normally, but you know, if you pick up fluff or dirt that's a bit bigger than the gap in between this bit and that bit, it is going to get caught. But I think that's not too bad for being daily for a month. You know, none of this rubber is wearing off here. You know, the plastics are good. It's coped really rather well. The max button, not had to use max too much. I have done when I wanted a deeper clean, because you can feel it clamp the floor head down to the carpet. But yeah, for normal use, you know, the setting it turns on with is what I've used. We clean this disaster up, and we'll have a look at how the head's coped. Now, I haven't touched this at all. I've noticed the hair starting to wrap around, and my daughter was playing with, I bought some bath bombs and it came with all this straw in it, and she used it as hay all over the floor for her toy horses, bless her. So it's had that as well, and a lot of that got wrapped around as well. I just realised that I'm not with the right tools for the job, so need a small screwdriver or a coin to turn this halfway, and which will remove the brush roll, which is very easy. And yeah, we'll say that the head is, I don't know if I can show you quickly here, quite scratchy scrapey on the floor, bless it. It is not a premium feeling head, but it hasn't snowploughed anything. You know, a little bit of grub from my floors, need to wipe that, but you know, the rubber coating on the wheels has lasted a month. It's taken a few knocks and scrapes absolutely fine, and has been, by the looks of it, okay. Again, this is something that you'd want to do every month really in order for it to survive. The foam dust catchers on the edge have done a superb job. There is nothing in there, and it hasn't done a Dyson and clogged all that up with hair. The only real thing it's done is clog up this bit a bit, but again, you get the tool, which I don't have on me, which you can cut all the hair off, or just do what I'm doing and pick it free. Do this once a month on, well, any vacuum cleaner really, with a brush roll, and you will make it last forever. It's when you don't do this and get it to the point where you can't see the bristles that you have a problem. So yes, all in all, the main part of the machine has been okay. I best go get the little mini turbo tool, and we'll check that out, because I've used that a lot as well. Because I like a good mini turbo head, and this isn't the best, I'll be completely honest, but it's okay. The only thing I'm now realising is that you can't actually take it out to clean it. So again, this is where I probably should have got the little tool. But again, there's only a little bit of dirt stuck around it. That'll be fine. And yeah, it's good. You do need to then have the crevice tool in your pocket, because it doesn't go close to the edge and it doesn't pull the dirt in from the side. So it takes a little bit of up and down. You can get a good rhythm going should you need to. And I have forgotten about the filter cleaner, which I have been using. However, not on the Tinko. I shall demonstrate with the Victor V9 because it's here, although it works better with a pneumatic hose cuff, which is thicker. It goes in there, and then you hold it with your hand, and I use these to clean the filter off, and I much prefer this to the Pure One S12s, which we still yet to do, where you have to stick it on the machine. I mean, you can put this on the machine, but it's a manual twist. And that means that, yeah, any other vacuum cleaner is going to be a little bit better, because it won't just put the fine dust straight back onto the filter. That's been really nice to use. It's nice to actually use the machines that I'm gifted by the people that make them. Obviously, Tinko sent me this for Black Friday. Actually, we got some more, which we're going to see. We got the A11 to go another month. And yeah, I can look you in the lens and say, it's pretty flipping good. Keep it maintained. Don't use it for horrifically big messes. This is certainly a companion machine, unless you're a very clean person, because you'll want something else to get the bigger bits up that this won't. But yeah, highly recommend it. It's very good indeed. So that's what I used for February. Let me go and tidy this up and show you what we're going to use for March. And little bit of a curveball this, but it's got to be done at some point, and in a way I'm looking forward to it. Let me get that ready. The vacuum cleaner of the month for March, it's March not February, 2022 is going to be the Beldray roller cordless with the Hoover H3 200, whatever it was, head right here. Because this is a machine that since we, I bought it obviously, and somebody else obviously didn't like it very much, but that could have something to do with the fact that it came with this gosh awful head. And this is the same pretty much exact brush roll that the Green Oak GSC 40 that we saw in January had, and it's what made that machine not brilliant either. They're fine for Japanese tiny homes with hard flooring throughout where they don't really have dirt, but for a rug and carpet you need a brush roll, and this has it here now already. There's hair wrapped around it, which, may be alright, maybe not, but I can clean it quite easily because the brush roll comes out of this head very nicely indeed. So, should probably check we have a filter in it really. I have no idea how this bagless system is going to cope. I mean, there's already, just from that little bit there, look, some dirt stuck to the shroud, so this could be interesting. I'm glad I didn't pay a lot of money for it. Oh, get the filter out. The filter is pretty clean under here, so we're gonna see what happens, see how much I moan about it when we come back in April to change once again. Who knows, might make whatever I change to in April seem really amazingly good. Who knows. Yes, there's tape on the hose, so I put a hole in it whilst I was bodging the head so it didn't have a swivel, because the swivel is horrible on these heads. But like this, it's much, much better. Of course, as well as the vacuum cleaner, I also no longer need, for this month, to have the Manchester Vac stand, because to charge, not having that, to charge this machine, you stick it on its base. Talking of base, we should probably put our small tools on, slightly looking forward to having a proper actual dusting brush rather than a horrible two-in-one thing on there. So yeah, in theory could be quite fun, and we'll soon work out if the bagless system in this is terrible or not. And I think we have turbo control as well. Yeah. So I could just use it on this all the time. Really, it has some quite good suction to it. There's also, look, a peely on here. There we go. Although the cheap label's already bent in half, you can't really see. To turn the machine on, you've got to hold it, which is a little bit odd, and you can't. It's quite difficult to actually turn it on with this. I don't think you can. Turns on there, up and down. And then you can hold it to turn off, but I think once you've turned it off, this doesn't have any say in how the switch works at all. Nice swivelling hose, which I haven't fully noticed, only swivels on one side, but gonna be fun, isn't it? People would have bought these horrible things new, and well, we haven't bought this one new. Obviously, I bought it used, and we just got lucky, and we upgraded it. So it's time to see, because I'll never know if it just sits in its box looking pretty, just how well this thing does work. Comment down below. Is it going to be a month that I hate, or is it going to be a month that's going to surprise us with this setup? Obviously, not the usual floor head. Has to just be this one, because doesn't have the terrible fluffy soft head on it. What are we doing, Phoenix? This is interesting, isn't it? I had this in mind when I started the whole series, because you've got to use machines like this. I mean, look at it. It's a Vax Air Evolve that has better filtration than a Vax Air Evolve. That is uncanny, really. Still doesn't stand up, just like all of the other ones. But it is what it is. It can sit in the hallway on its little dock, which will go and take the charging station for the stick vacuums away. And it can sit there quite happily indeed. So, there we are, from a Tinko A10 Hero, which feels leaps and bounds ahead of this thing in terms of quality. I think this thing's even, manufactured by Up Global Sourcing UK Limited. Sadly, the bell drain name is just that, a stamp that goes on to wherever this came from. Has anybody ever seen one of these? Like, in its, plain form? I don't know what to look on AliExpress for these sort of things. Comment down below if that's something that you're good at. We'll see what we can find. But until the next video, and until the next 12 vacuums in 12 months, I thank you very much for watching. Hope that you have enjoyed, and trust that I and this will see you soon. Bye bye.